are people from all over the world in this competition. We have Australia, Norway, New Zealand, the United States, and the UK.
How did you actually interested in the subject?
Well, I was always interested in the subject in medieval history, and from a young age was involved in swordplay and all those sorts of things, and took to riding at a later stage in life, and eventually decided I could combine the two into something that I really, really enjoy.
Continuing Out and About's coverage of the Tournament of the Phoenix, we find ourselves in Poway, California, relishing the colorful excitement of knights on horseback. The two-day event is an annual tradition and celebrates the history and romance of a bygone era, featuring authentic displays of jousting. How did you get involved in your knighthoodery?
Well, like Graham, I can't remember a time when I wasn't interested in knights in the Middle Ages, and it's an interest you have, and you follow it however you can. I'm sure if you ask most firemen, they'll tell you they wanted to be firemen when they were children too. It's kind of like that, you know. Most people at some point or other change their mind and do something else, but my childhood interest never really went away, it seems.
In today's match and competition, I believe you both scored rather high, they tell me.
Yes, that's the way it turned out on the day.
What did you do to make it so high?
Well, the game is to hit your opponent as hard and as accurately as you can. And then someone gives you some points for it, and that bit's not really up to you. So we just hit each other as hard as we could and rode our horses as fast as they would go.
And I guess that was fun then, huh?
In a strange kind of a way, yes, it was. This is what we do.
During that point of contact, what is the rush? What is the feeling that you have then?
Well, one of the things I like about jousting is that it focuses the mind. You know, there's nothing going on except where you are in that particular moment. You know, and in your everyday life, you got a lot of thoughts going through your head. You're thinking about what you have to do at work. You're thinking about whether you have to pick up something for dinner. You know, what's your wife doing? What's your job like? But in a joust, in that one moment, it's just you and the horse, and there's a guy at the other end of the field, and your job is to ride towards him and hit him as hard as you can, and it just clears the mind. There's nothing else in the world.
Does it help you to focus as well?
Absolutely. It's a moment where there isn't anything else in the world, just the other rider as a target, and you have a clear job to do. It's very focused.
This is a 6-event tournament. There's 4 sessions of jousting over 2 days and 2 other events. There's a foot combat that's going to happen in about an hour. And then there's a mounted melee where all the 6 knights get together on their armor, on their horses, and they have clubs in their hands, and it's a submission tournament.
After the jousting, the weary knights prepare for the foot combat, a confrontational melee that is even more exhausting than the joust. In this demonstration, the 6 knights are pitted against each other in a one-on-one confrontation, and armed with axes, they simply club each other into submission.
It's called footed combat with pole axes. It's a highly accurate display of what would have occurred during a tournament. Tournaments were very much like festivals, and they had a lot of extra activities among the knights aside from the jousting. So what we saw was a standard team competition where each member of the team was able to challenge a member of the opposing team, and they would fight to what is called counted blows. In other words, each significantly powerful blow would be counted against a combatant. The first to reach 5 would be out. There were also some additional elements to that you may have noticed, that if a combatant is borne to the ground, in other words, they're laid out flat on their back, they then have to give up, so they're considered to have lost. Being driven to your knees does not count as a lose. It's usually down to the back when you're considered helpless, or if you've been disarmed. If a combatant is disarmed, he's considered out.
Looks like it's kind of painful to me. I mean, especially when those guys are falling down on their backs.
It's not for the meek. It's not an endeavor for the weak-spirited. It can be painful. It's obviously very exciting. It's very difficult. It's rough on bodies, but it's also very rough on the armor. So you'll notice when you see the knights later, they'll be repairing a lot of dents and scratches and misshapen pieces, because that's a high-impact activity.
They might even want to spend the night in a jacuzzi.
Well, yeah, that's a distinct possibility. Fortunately, we have some masseuses on staff that'll be helping them out.
Michael, are these the same guys who were in the joust earlier?
Yes, they were. Again, it was both teams, the Order of the Star and the Order of the Crescent. They are the two jousting teams, and they were also the two teams competing here. Throughout the weekend, the teams will be represented by those same three men. That won't change. So they have to do this. They have to joust. They have to have all their pursuits for 3 days. We started yesterday. You can guess that by tomorrow evening they'll be pretty well spent.
Yeah, the thought is exhausting me as we speak.
Yeah, it's again not for the weak-spirited.
The afternoon festivities aren't limited to the jousting and foot combats. Sprinkled throughout the fairgrounds are many other encampments encompassing a myriad of historic periods. Everything from the Viking era to the Renaissance as represented here by the Guild of St. George, one of the nation's renowned historical reenactment organizations.
The Guild of St. George is a noble or aristocratic 16th century English group, and they are part of our Festival of History. They are the opposite end from the Romans. Rome to the Renaissance in the Festival of History, and they are the Renaissance. They are located in the South Camp, and they're the later period. They're the best at what they do.
We are a nonprofit public benefit corporation that's intended to teach history through interactive theater.
I do see a lot of people here wearing costumes and speaking as if they were in the period of that costume.
Oh, absolutely. The whole key to interactive theater is to try to recreate the past as accurately and completely as we can, and that includes the care that we take in our costumes, as well as the environment that we create and the way we talk when we are actually in character.
It sounds as though the key word here is authentic.
Oh, absolutely. That really is the watchword for the Guild. Many of groups, we're very fortunate that we're a group that started back in the days of Living History Center for the Renaissance Pleasure Fair, and so many of our folks were steeped in that concept of trying to be as accurate as we possibly can.
How does one track you or your players down?
Well, we have a website, guildofstgeorge.org, and it is a statewide organization, and we have a Southern California chapter as well as one in the Bay Area. Rydell Downward is the guildmaster up there, and I'm the guildmaster here.
What are some of the venues that where you have performed?
Well, we initially started working for Kevin Patterson, who was the family that originally developed the Renaissance Fair back in the early 60s. He had a fair back when we first started about 2000 that was in the Santa Barbara area. And he had that for a couple of years, and he invited us to come up, and that was our first activity actually as an organization. And then several years after that, the Huntington Library in San Marino was having a year-long celebration of the life of Elizabeth. And they invited us to come, and we put on, I think it was 13 different events during the course of a year, and that was a very intense experience. We've since then done a couple of events at the Huntington Library, and we've also performed at the Getty Museum, and we do our own presentations as well. We actually will often rent a hall and put on an event that is trying to recreate as much as we possibly can the music, the dance, the lifestyle of the Elizabethan age.
And is this fun for you?
It is. It is. It is an all-consuming passion. People ask me what my hobby is, and I say, well, I get to wear wonderful clothes, sing and dance, eat wonderful food, and be surrounded by beautiful women. And it's a pretty nice way to have a hobby.
Well, you're at a jousting event today. How does that fit in?
Actually, we were approached by the folks who organized this event. They decided that they wanted to create not just the joust as a sporting event, but also as a historical opportunity, as an educational opportunity. And so this year, for the first time, they're having what's called the Festival of History to go with the joust. And we were one of the first people they contacted, actually, we met up together. And so the organizers said, we want a group that is dedicated to history, that will not burlesque the material, that will actually present the past as it really was. And I said, you're singing our song. That's exactly what we want to do. And then I gave them leads for a couple of other people that we've worked with in the past and had good work with. And I think we've come up with a really nice combination of people here that are truly bringing the past to life. And in our case, if someone comes to us and said, hey, I have a venue, I have the audience, I have people who want to learn, we'll be there. That's what we're here for.
With the festive music combined with the authentic period costumes and battleware, the afternoon offers a totally immersive experience that can be appreciated by all ages. I can't help but notice there are a lot of families here.
Yes, this has become a tremendous family event. The thing is, with the competitive jousting, there are no good guys and bad guys. You pick the guy you like, or you pick the team that you like, and they're all noble competitors. There's no bad guy. So the night is restored to being the good guy. All the knights are good guys, and the kids just love it. They all identify with that knight as a good guy. And the parents come out, they bring them out. There's no blood and guts. The Festival of History teaches them about history in a very, very easy way. It's not boring for the kids. It's very much hands-on history. It's a very nice day for families. It doesn't cost them a lot. This is a very affordable event. We made sure that it was very affordable. It costs less than an afternoon at the movies, and you can spend the whole day here. Bunch of activities for the kids to do, plus the jousting.
I understand that you teach as well.
Yes, we have a night school. You can learn to be a knight.
Is that a day-night school or?
It's a day-night school. Yes, it happens during the day. We will teach you how to joust. We will teach you what it's like to be a knight. We can put you on a horse if you know how to ride, put you on a horse and teach you how to joust.
Music that time beguileth, music that time beguileth. See where she comes, with flowery garlands crowned. Queen of all queens, queen of all queens, queen of all queens, renowned.
To experience this timeless age of brave knights and chivalrous deeds, don't miss the Tournament of the Phoenix each October in Poway, California.